It happened in broad daylight at an event at Utah Valley University. As Charlie Kirk addressed the crowd, a single fatal shot was fired.
I hear up top, I just saw him grab, it looked like his neck, and there's just blood pouring out everywhere, and his eyes kind of rolled back.
This video shows security rushing 31-year-old Charlie Kirk to the hospital. The panicked crowd ran for cover.
It's traumatizing. It scares. I don't even want to go to school tomorrow.
President Trump confirmed the death on Truth Social. Kirk was a rising star in conservative politics and a fierce ally of the president's. He was a co-founder of Turning Point USA, which advocates for conservative politics on university campuses. Well known to CBS News chief Washington analyst Bob Costa.
I have covered Charlie Kirk for a long time, have spoken to him at so many political events over the years. This is someone who has galvanized conservatives across the country. He is seen as someone who was really able to gather the Trump movement, especially those under 30, and make them into a force.
Students streamed off campus as news spread, and from both sides of the political spectrum, lawmakers condemned the shooting, calling for an end to political violence.
Can't start the video out doing this. Alright. Today we lost something that we just won't get back. We had a man that was willing to fight, verbally debate people who had difference of opinions, try to show them a better way, try to teach people who were confused how to truly realize themselves. He did not go up there with body armor. He did not take a lot of the precautions that a lot of people would normally take, which just goes to show how much he gave himself to the Lord. And he was assassinated. I want everybody to try to remember where they was today, what they were doing when they found out about this. I myself was at work, and my boss just came up and showed me the video, and I was taken aback. Not because of the necessarily graphic nature of it, but the fact that this was someone that could have went on to be president one day. And he truly was helping a lot of mothers find the strength to have their children. He was helping people that had turned away from the Lord to find their way back to the light. He had inspired millions. And now that's gone. We'll never get it back. I'm going to go through some of his moments just so you can get a taste of who he was in case you're unaware. And if you are aware, then this can just be a remembrance to look back on what all he was offering. He was a father of two, and his wife and children had to witness this today. Not be hard to find stuff like this because everything's kind of bogged down with what happened today, but we'll find something.
Do you view democracy as an American value, something that's very important to the fabric of this country?
No. Where's democracy in the U.S. Constitution?
Oh, okay. So
No, hold on. Where is the word democracy?
I don't think the word democracy is in the Constitution.
So where is the word democracy in any of the founding fathers?
A lot of the founding fathers had extremely elitist viewpoints around who should...
No, hold on. I just want to... You said the word democracy, so I want to get back to our roots.
Yes.
Where is democracy mentioned?
I don't...
In the Federalist Papers, the Constitution, or the Declaration?
I think it's good that this country has moved away from things that were explicitly believed by the founding
fathers. In the Federalist
fathers.
Papers, and it's mentioned negatively as a problem. So you asked me, is democracy a fundamental American value? I say no.
Okay.
Because I go back to our roots. And Hamilton, Madison, and Jay...
Oh, I know that Hamilton was anti-democracy.
No, well, hold on,
these
let me
people
finish.
thought that people should be owned as
I want to be clear. I am pro-representative government,
okay,
but I'm not pro-democracy. That's a big difference, and that distinction's important. But you asked very specifically about democracy, which is not an American value. It never has been and never should be, because what is democracy? Democracy is majority rule no matter what. That there's no provisions of checks and balances, no inalienable rights, no separation of powers, pure if the majority gets it, the majority wants it as quickly as possible.
I don't advocate pure democracy. I do understand that we live in a representative, like we live
Got
in a
it.
republic,
So
and I understand these things.
representative government.
Okay.
And you might say I'm splitting hairs on words, but I'm not.
Well, just coming from a place where on some level we have a level of democracy in this country and people vote and it is part of their civic duty to vote.
Sure.
Yes. Do you not think it is in the greater interest of this country at large that its citizens are as educated as possible to therefore be able to participate in that system?
I think they should be as wise as possible, and I don't think that education and wisdom are the same thing.
Yeah,
in fact,
I understand.
I think college disincentivizes the cultivation of wisdom.
In the age where there is such a hypersaturation of, and we've seen this, like extremely polarizing different, like people are getting their news from wildly different sources.
Yes.
People just don't interact with the other side at all. Do you think that being an autodidact in any sense of the term is going to give you a thorough and rigorous education if you are so likely to end up sucked into these holes where you're never interacting with people who
That's not my only form of learning. I meet a lot of cool people. I learn from people like you and others. I mean, I'm listening when you're talking. It's not just a shtick. You haven't won me over on any of it, but you had an opportunity to. But I'm glad you attempted to. But yeah, I mean, you learn in other ways other than just sitting in a classroom listening to a professor drone on for 90 minutes and pretending to read his book and paying $20,000 a semester to cheat on the exam at the end of the semester.
I think
what he's basically saying there is that these kids have parents they've taken out student loans or spent a lot of saving up to send their kids to a school. And the college and schools have taught them something that is just flat out not true. They think they don't even know what America is or what our government stands for. And in today's age, I don't even know what we stand for, but I know what we stood for, and that was we elected people that we saw as being fit to lead us, and the people that we elected took our opinions and votes into consideration to make their choices for the betterment of us. And as you see, he's willing to listen to any other side. He's not being angry or hateful. And I'm sorry, it's hard to put words to what I'm trying to say. I had all this stuff in my head that I wanted to get out, and it's just not really coming out.
college is what you make of it. I think
I agree. So is life.
People are selling themselves short on their education if they don't.
You can listen to as many podcasts as you want. You can meet interesting people, and
academia does have like an actual level of like. You have to prove that you're worth your salt, at least to have peer-reviewed papers published, which you don't have to do to start a podcast.
If you get a PhD, yes, but hold on. So is your contention that I'm not informed or not worldly or not wise? I want to be clear.
I'm not making any claims about your specific level of being informed. I'm saying the general, like, rhetoric on the right against education, against higher education specifically.
Why do you think it is? Is it because you think we hate smart people, or is it that there's something happening here that we really think is troubling?
I think it's much easier to control people who are less educated.
See, now you're a conspiracy theorist. So, no, it's...
Anti-intellectualism is a hallmark of fascism.
Do you think we're against higher education because it largely has created an ungrateful, unprepared generation that goes into the American body politic and does not share the core American values of freedom of speech, gratitude for our founding, consent of the governed? In fact, it's hyper-radical. and it's against our traditions, our norms, and our customs, and it's created massive fissures. We call that the woke mind virus, if you will.
Okay, that makes...
It's not because people are easier to control. In fact, we love learning. I learn every day. In fact, that's why I'm pro Hillsdale College, where it's probably one of the hardest colleges in the country to get into and graduate from. The problem is that when you are learning largely trash and crap, and you're not going in the pursuit of truth, beauty, or goodness, and you're not trying to inculcate wisdom or good character,
there's no oversight on online political punditry to make sure that you're in pursuit of wisdom and goodness.
No,
like,
of course
you directly profit from propagating viewpoints that are more polarizing and that suck people deeper into more conspiratorial thinking.
Hold on. What you're doing is you're actually insulting the audience, not me. Because the vast majority of this audience actually enjoys watching my videos, and they enjoy hearing from me.
I never said your audience didn't enjoy watching your videos.
Because you say I'm profiting. The way
you do profit, like you financially, you make a ton of money from getting more clicks.
The audience rewards me because they find that I bring some value.
Well, I don't
and
necessarily
that they learn
think
something from
that
me.
whatever gets the most
get to the next
eyes
question.
on a specific...
But it's easy to attack me as exploitation. What I say is actually very popular and resonates with people. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I was speaking with some people who are kind of against you coming here.
It's required to be like what she was calling exploiting, or what he used the word. Yeah, I guess he's the one who brought up the word exploitive, but it's not exploitive just to bring attention to something. Now, if he was doing this strictly to make money, yeah, you could argue that it was exploitation, but it's not. He was doing this to try to show people that have been falsely educated for most of their lives, especially since the pandemic, that what they're being taught is just not how it is.
Today, and they say that you come here, you're media trained, you've memorized all these talking points, and I just kind of wanted to question, like, are you truthfully like here to try to change people's minds, or is there kind of a benefit to keeping people divided? Like, I guess what I'm trying to ask is, do you think it's better for the country to be divided ideologically, or is it like preventing a more progressive debate?
Well, I guess, how am I dividing people if I ask you if you disagree, you come to the mic? How is that divisive?
Well, no, I'm just saying it's like you have these like clickbaity titles. It says like prove me wrong. Your critics are saying that you're trying to keep people divided. They're urging people not to come talk to you because you're going to spin it. What would you like to say to like your critics?
They're welcome to come to the microphone and say whatever they want to me, but they're intellectual cowards and they won't do that.
Yeah.
Okay, you know how we heal our divides? By talking to people we disagree with.
I would agree.
Yeah, he gave people that had disagreements with him a chance to come up and share their disagreements. And instead of sharing disagreements, they shared ammunition.
We will get closer to a civil war if we act like that. We just yell at people we don't like. You dress with, I guess I'm in all black, but, with masks on and just with stupid epitaphs. Okay, like that's how you get closer to dividing the country. You heal the country when you allow disagreement and you allow a microphone with people that have differing views.
But I think when you come out and you say like civil war and you use these like fear-mongering words, I feel like you're definitely trying to like get people like riled up, and that helps.
I mean, it's 100% factual. We're close to a civil war in this country, and I don't want that to happen. And people that act like that are going to further radicalize both sides, and you de-radicalize a population through speech.
Something I want to make note of. If whoever assassinated him thought to themselves that it was to prevent the Civil War, I assure you that all that they did was bring us closer to it.
I would say that conversation and media and like spreading the word definitely like that's like how you bridge the gap. But like when you're talking about the immigration debate, you said if you were here illegally, then you should get deported. I feel like that is stopping.
That's a very moderate view, by the way.
I feel like that's stopping like a more progressive debate on how we could help solve the immigration crisis. And
you solve it by deporting the criminals, aka every single one that broke our laws to come here. That's a very moderate position.
But I'm just saying, like, there's like ideas out there that America's this free land, and if you come here, you make it rich. Like, there's a false narrative that's like going out, that's like causing people to come here illegally, and like they try to cross the Rio Grande, and they unfortunately, like, a lot of times, like, if Border Patrol can't save them, then it stops them. So I think there's a more progressive conversation that could happen.
I'm sure there's a more
there,
progressive way to look at it. Yeah.
No, but
I'm not here to be progressive.
Okay. Well,
I want your take on immigration. What do you feel about illegal immigration, border hopping, border patrol? What do you take on that? Do you believe? I mean, obviously, I know like somewhat what
it shouldn't be a mystery, my beliefs,
obviously.
But yeah.
But I want to like hear from you first.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in this country illegally, you should be deported.
Okay.
And
we're not going to turn this into a reaction video. I just want to show a couple of these quick back and forths so that you can get an idea of what he stood for.
we should also restrict the amount of legal immigrants coming into this country as well. Okay. But the illegal problem is a much bigger problem right now. It's a full-out invasion. We have 15,000 people a day marching into our country. We don't know who they are. Terrorist watch lists. They're killing people every day. Laken Riley, another 16-year-old in Texas, was just murdered over the weekend by an illegal.
So you believe that everyone, no matter what you've done, deserves to get deported, even if they're illegal? What if they just do nothing and contribute to society?
Well,
you can contribute to society.
Well, they didn't do. Hold on. They didn't do nothing. They broke into our home.
Okay, but like, what
so if you break into somebody's home, you should be able to get kicked out of the home. So they know what they did. They trespassed. They domiciled themselves illegally. If that continues, go back to your country of origin and go be a dreamer in Nicaragua.
But a lot of times it's because of U.S.'s imperialistic past is what caused many of these nations to... Oh, can you hear me?
U.S. imperialism in the past?
Yeah, a lot of these countries have been devastated by...
Okay, so there's over 120 different countries that are coming across the border. Uzbekistan, you know, over 155,000 people from China have come across the border this year?
Okay.
From China. That's not like U.S. imperialism in Honduras. So they should be kicked out and deported. And it doesn't matter, U.S. imperial, I'm gonna roll my eyes at the whole thing. You still broke the law. You came into our country illegally. We have laws and customs. You came here, you knew you were breaking the law, and you should be sent back to your country of origin. Any decent country would do that.
So you
notice how there's no insults, there's no animosity, there's no unwillingness to listen to the other side's opinions. He literally would let people come up, share their views, and there's plenty of times people agreed with him and they just had a pleasant back and forth. But even when there's disagreements, he wasn't angry or hateful towards them. He would just speak very sternly and seriously, because it is a serious matter no matter what the topics are.
So I just had a question, because you talk a lot about like protecting and securing our southern borders, but as the granddaughter of
yeah.
I think a lot of people, both men and women, they're kind of frustrated with the current dating landscape. Do you have any thoughts on this? What's your diagnosis and any solutions? And we'll open it up.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think people need to date with the intent to marry. Yeah, I'm a big critic of hookup culture in its current form. I believe sex should be sacred and is sacred, and it's really thrown away way too generously in this society and culture. And I can tell you, I'm super blessed. I have the best wife in the world. We have an amazing life. Building a family is the coolest thing ever, and my prayer for all of you is that you one day can do that. That's
so cute.
It's honestly the most joyful thing, and I've had some pretty amazing experiences. I've been very, very blessed, very lucky, you could say, but very blessed is the word I would use. And the greatest joy I've ever had is coming home to my little daughter running up to my leg. There's nothing that even comes close to it. Not flying.
And now that little daughter will never get to run up to his leg ever again. They were there when this happened. His kids and wife witnessed losing their father and husband. For no reason. All he ever did was freedom of speech. Like, literally, there was no crimes, no hate, no ill will. He was literally just there to listen and try to help whoever came to him for help. He's founded his own, I don't know if you call it, it's a foundation, Turning Point USA, to try to just basically make America, it transcends politics. It's not about politics. It's about making our country a good, God-fearing country that when we pass on, we'll make it into heaven. And I can assure you right now, he's up there getting patted on the back.
Flying on Air Force One, not meeting with presidents, that pales in comparison to your little girl coming up and squeezing your leg.
Oh.
Okay, got it. Does anybody else have any thoughts on that with,
Yeah. So I just wanted to circle back because you said something that caught my attention, and I disagree with it. Because you said something like, I hope all of you can like experience that, and like, you said something like, I hope all of you can experience that, and I mean, I don't disagree with that. I hope we can all experience joy in life like that. That's amazing, but I just feel like, I don't know why you said it that way. Like, maybe we're not going to experience that because we don't have the same values as you.
Is that what he said?
From that,
I thought it was.
I don't think that's.
I don't know.
That's not the impression I got. But I'll if Charlie wants to answer.
Well, if I said it that way, I didn't mean it that way. Maybe you can tell me more about your line of work.
What would you like to know?
Do you think that it's going to create a good, happy family in the future?
You notice he said something. This person twisted it into something else that was entirely different. And he's still willing to engage with her on a respectful level.
Right now I'm working on it. Yeah, me
That's
and
good.
my boyfriend are doing really well in our relationship, and honestly, I think contrary to what most people would believe, I think being in porn has strengthened us.
Why is that? I've never heard that.
Yeah.
What can you tell me why?
So basically, like, being in porn and having sort of like this open type of relationship where you can have sex with other people, obviously there are certain boundaries in the relationship, but it really makes you think about, what's important, why you love this person, and, you start to really hold things true that are deeper than just sex, and I think that on top of that, you can share sex with other people together, and that's really bonding, that's really fun.
Are you ever worried that do you ever get jealous of him if he has sex with other people?
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
So how does that strengthen your relationship?
Because we're able to talk about it, and I think every time that I bring up a concern and he's able to soothe it and we're really able to like work on that bond, it just makes it stronger.
Have you ever, when you were having sex, do you ever think it's more than physical? That maybe there's emotional and spiritual connections you might be introducing?
No.
So it's a purely physical experience?
Yeah.
See, for me, sex is more than physical. That's the least part of sex for me because I get to share it with my soulmate. It's my best friend.
It's definitely a big energy exchange.
It's a big energy exchange. And so, Molly, I would ask respectfully, wouldn't you want to only share that energy exchange with the person that you love most and want to have children with?
I think sex can exchange different types of energies. So like you can exchange an intimate type of energy, or you can exchange a really passionate, like horny type of energy. You can exchange dull energy during sex. You can exchange manipulative energy during sex. Sex can be used for a wide variety of things, and I think the biggest one is like marital spiritual connection, but you can't deny that there's other benefits to it as well.
If you could be with your boyfriend currently, and I waved a magic wand and I said you can make $1 million a year and never do porn again, would you?
No.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
What? Are you making more than that a year, Molly?
Not yet.
Oh, well then, I mean, aren't you doing that? That's your profession, so I assume you're doing that to make money, correct?
Yeah, 100%. Well, also
but Charlie just has a magical wand. He's got, that's not the wand.
For the sake of argument.
He's used the wand. You can make $1 million a year. Yeah. You don't have to do, the adult content.
Well, the thing is, I wouldn't have to do it. That would be great, but I would still want to do it. Personally, like, I'm an exhibitionist. I love, like, putting my sexual self out there for other people to see, for other people to, like, touch themselves to, have fun with.
Can I ask you a question? Since you're about presenting yourself to the world, do you have a good relationship with your father?
Okay, here we go.
No, I don't talk to him.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
How do you believe feminism should be defined, and do you think it can be reconciled with conservatism?
Well, so yes and no. It depends. There's first, second, and third wave feminism. First wave feminism is that women should have a right to vote. Second wave feminism had a lot of problems, which is the female liberation movement, that women should not just be at home, but they should get into the workforce. Third wave feminism is complete garbage, which is toxic modern day feminism, which is irreconcilable with any decent society, which is far more about hating men than actually respecting women. And you guys all know the type of that kind of feminism. There are some good aspects of second wave feminism, but at the core of feminism, we have to ask the question is, has it made American women happier? And it hasn't, actually. American women are more suicidal, more depressed, more anxious than they were prior. And I believe, and again, we get in trouble for saying this, is that you should have the agency and liberty to do whatever you want. But many women, a majority, like 90+% deep down, have this urge to reproduce and to raise children. And we are telling them to forsake that and go become a CEO of a shoe company. And we're wondering why so many young ladies are miserable and angry, because they're at war with something within them that they actually want to do, which is to have a relationship, have children, and nurture future humans into this world.
I would like to propose an alternative perspective. I'm conservative, but I'm also a feminist, and I think that a better way to propose feminism in the public media would be not to eliminate having children and tell women that they shouldn't have children, but to figure out your career first before you decide to settle down, because you can't really undo that once you have kids.
So I think it's the exact opposite. I think you should have kids first, then do your career, because which one has a timetable on it?
True, but once you have kids, you're committed to that, and you can't really have as much of a career, so you should kind of define your I guess what I'm trying to say.
Kids are way more important than being, a data scientist at Dropbox.
But okay, what if you don't want to have
That's
kids?
fine. Then go do it. You're risking that you might end up super miserable. And that's what we're seeing, is that we have seen a spike where half of women in their 30s that are unmarried are on antidepressants. Half. We've never seen a spike like this. And again, I'm not saying that's the only reason, but we've never ever seen a generation or a group of people so angry, so miserable, so medicated. And there's obviously something wrong. We know who are the happiest women in America. Women with 3 or more kids are the happiest women in America. Least suicidal, yes, right? And by the way, it's not easy, but it's super deep. And so again, if you want to go be a data scientist, God bless you. This is country's free country, go do that. I just think that there's a part of the story that isn't being told, which is that the opposite should be have kids as soon as possible, and then you can go pursue your career in your late 30s once your kids are 18 years old. And it's the opposite. We tell people, wait. And by the way, when you reach your 30s, you might be infertile, you might have trouble having kids, you might need IVF, you might need all these other very, harsh treatments, and you might not even find a mate.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Enjoy class. Thank you.
What exactly do you mean by college is a scam?
Good question. I wrote a whole book about it. Largely the value proposition that...
I'm being so...
I did it. Yeah, I waited for marriage. I mean, it was amazing.
That's amazing for you, but you are not
But hold on. I know it's not easy, but that's a good question. Let me get to this, though. To those of you that haven't, I'm guessing you all haven't waited till you got married. Do you wish you did?
No.
No? No? Do any of you wish you... So... In the ideal, if I could paint a world for you that you only shared your sexual experience with one person that was your soulmate, that's not interesting to you?
No. Oh, that's cool, but
wait, you guys don't regret any of the men you've slept with?
I don't believe in soulmates. Man that I've slept with.
You don't believe in soulmates?
Not necessarily.
How about best friend?
No.
You don't believe in best friends?
I've had a lot of best friends in my life.
Perfect match.
No. I don't think that exists either.
You guys are so jaded.
I do think that sex is better when you're in love.
People throughout your lifetime.
Jaded.
At least we're consistent.
No, you're very consistent.
You can have multiple soulmates.
Multiple soulmates?
Yeah. I was saying, with as big as the world is, you're not going to necessarily find exactly one person.
Because you're going to grow throughout your life.
Yeah.
We're changing all the time.
And sometimes people don't grow with you. But if that person were to grow with you, then that's...
So then if it's not a soulmate, I mean this not facetiously, then what is the purpose of marriage?
I don't agree. I wouldn't do a legal marriage.
If you have as much sex as you want before, and marriage really doesn't mean much, does it?
No.
Do you think America was a better country when people waited to have sex when they got married?
You think everyone did that in America?
No, it was the vast majority of women in the 50s and 60s would not have premarital sex.
Majority.
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? that people are having more premarital sex?
I personally don't like it. I don't like hookup culture at all.
You don't like hookup culture, but you're not regretting sleeping with a bunch of guys before a soulmate. Help me understand.
Yeah. Okay, hold on.
And then, wait,
guys is crazy.
Hold on, and you don't like hookup culture, but you also do OnlyFans, so help me understand all
so
this.
So my body count is 6, and 2 of those I was in a relationship with. The third one I thought I was going to be in a relationship with. And the 3 before that, all of my friends were hooking up with guys, so I thought like, oh, that's what I need to do, because they're all hooking up, so this is the normal thing. I should be hooking up, and I realized very quickly, I don't like hooking up with random men.
Do any of you think that women are being harmed by hookup culture?
Yes. I agree.
So you all agree with that, but then you say that, no, you don't think women are being harmed by hookup culture?
No.
Okay.
Wait, what?
We'll get that in a second. However, so then why don't all of you make a commitment that you're going to save yourself for marriage? You could do that. Society might not have to.
Because I'm already past the point.
Well, you can make you can always become a new version of yourself. What's done is done, but you could say,
No.
I'm now going to save myself from this point forward.
I don't want to be a new version. I want to be me, and they accept me for me.
What is me? What is that?
Whatever I've done in the past and up till this point.
So there's no improvement?
I don't need to improve necessarily. It's that I
don't need to improve. Okay.
Yeah, no problem. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I'm just curious about your stance on college as a scam, because I feel like, according to
said that economics was not the best thing to study in your
Technology or the life sciences or.
Okay. Video.
Campus safe for those kids.
You can see what he stood for. He was just trying to help women people in general have a happier life. I don't possibly understand what could justify. I mean, you can't justify an assassination like this to begin with, but I don't understand how the person who did it justified it to themselves. He was a great man. Let's check in with the police and see if they figured anything out about the shooter.
Yeah. So thank you.
That is so very true, and you can see this is a live picture and potentially any moment now. I think they're about to give a mic check real briefly. So, Mike, thank you so much for your time here on Live Now from Fox. I appreciate your time. I'm glad, obviously, your family is safe there, saying they were on lockdown, a suspect now in custody. All right, let's quickly shift gears here on Live Now from Fox. Take you right out there to Utah. Spencer Cox providing an update.
We'll first hear from Utah Department of Public Safety Commissioner Bo Mason. Then we'll hear from the FBI Special Agent in Charge, Robert Bowles. We'll then hear from Utah Valley University Vice President Val Peterson, who's been in touch with President Jimenez. And then we'll hear from Governor Cox. I'll turn the time over to Commissioner Mason.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bo Mason, Commissioner for the Utah Department of Public Safety. Today at approximately 12:20 Mountain Standard Time.
Well, you didn't do a very good job, sir.
Political influencer Charlie Kirk was shot at an event at the Utah Valley University. He was taken by private vehicle to Timpanogos Hospital, where he later passed. The Utah Department of Public Safety will be co-leading this criminal investigation to find this killer, along with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We are working in unison with the County Sheriff's Office, the local police department, and the University Police Department, all of which have been very cooperative and fully engaged in this process.
What do y'all think that should happen when they find this guy? I have an idea for what I think it's going to take to end this. I'm going to save it till the end, and the reason I'm saving it till the end is because they might shut my stream down, to be honest.
Shortly after the shooting, we did have a suspect in custody, George Zinn, but he was released from custody after we identified that he did not match the shooting suspect and was not an accurate person of interest. However, he has been booked into the county jail by Utah Valley University Police Department for obstruction of justice. We do still have an active investigation for the person of interest. This incident occurred with a large crowd around. There was one shot fired and one victim. While the suspect is at large, we believe this was a targeted attack towards one individual. This is a tragic moment in our state and in our...
Even if it was targeted at one individual, that's one too many. And like he said, it was a packed crowd. Anything could have gone wrong, and as powerful as that shell was, it could have went through multiple people, especially at front position. This could have turned even, and totally horrendous that this happened, but it could have been even worse considerably if people were not just sitting the exact way they were. What if somebody randomly stood up? More people could have passed from this than they were considering. And this is going beyond even Charlie Kirk. This is the level of uncertainty. It's not being accounted for when people are making these decisions.
Country. As we heal, we encourage everyone who is struggling with news of the incident to call 988, our state mental health crisis line. In addition to that, our partners with the FBI will also be discussing other ways we can communicate through the public for tips and other information. Thank you.
I wonder if they tap in them phone lines at the Crisis Center, hoping that somebody will call in for mental health, but give up some info in the process of repeating what happened that can help them know where to look. I don't know if they're looking into that, but that's a thought.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the FBI, we extend our sincerest condolences to the family and friends of Charlie Kirk. Our thoughts are also with the people who witnessed this traumatic event. We know that what you experienced was very difficult. Our thoughts are with you as well. As soon as we heard about the shooting, special agents and personnel from the Salt Lake field office responded immediately. We have full resources devoted to this investigation, including tactical, operational, investigative, and intelligence. To be clear, the FBI will fully support and co-lead this investigation alongside with our partners.
So we got the FBI, city police, county police, and the Commissioner of Safety. Wow, I mean, this is Utah. This is a red state. I'm going ahead and predicting it now. Let me know in the comments what you think, though. Is it the weapon or the person using the weapon to blame? I, for one, think it's the person using the weapon to blame. How do I put this simply? It's just like if someone said, is it a choice to be an addict or is it a disease? Well, it's obviously a choice. You can choose to put down the weapon. You can choose to put down the drug. You cannot choose to put down cancer. You cannot choose to put down an action after it's been done.
We are working on setting up a digital media tip line, and as soon as it's established, we'll get that information out to everyone. I know there's a lot of questions. This is very much an active case, and this investigation is in its early stages. We are following all the leads and all the evidence. If anyone has any information, please report it to the FBI or local law enforcement. Thank you. On behalf of President 2 minutes.
And please do, if anyone knows who it is, let's get this guy. And about us, or let's, I don't mean us, I mean, let's help them capture this guy. Not corner and hang. He needs to be caught publicly. Everyone deserves. The people at that rally, it's not even a rally, it's an event. They don't deserve the lack of closure of not knowing who could have traumatized them for the rest of their lives. If anyone does know anything, even if it was just something you saw in a group chat, they'll come through it. Do all the help you can.
As who we've been communicating with, and she's on her way back right now, I say that on behalf of Utah Valley University, we are shocked and saddened by the tragic passing of Charlie Kirk.
We express our sincere condolences to the Kirk family. We grieve with our students, faculty, and staff who bore witness to this unspeakable tragedy. He was invited by the student group Turning Point USA to speak on our campus.
Since they were the ones that invited him, why don't we check their chats? See if somebody in one of their chats might have said something in that code they've been using. And see if, like, you know, that's a lead to look into. Oh, it ain't really a lead. That's something to look into. Not saying that that is what it is. It could be a million different things. But that is a plausible explanation considering they set it up. But then again, that might be too easy, and whoever actually did it might be using that as a red herring.
I firmly believe that UVU is a place to share ideas and to debate openly and respectfully. Any attempt to infringe on those rights has no place here. We do not condone any form of violence at UVU and seek to make our campus a safe place for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this dark and tragic occasion. I want to thank our law enforcement officers who are leading this investigation.
This could be the most important day or event since, well, this year's election was this term's election was definitely up there. But outside of that, this could be one of the biggest moments since the year of 2011.
Starting with Chief Long and his response here with the UVU Police Department. We're grateful for your leadership and your team. And again, to the speakers that you've just heard from who are co-leading this investigation. I also want to recognize Sheriff Mike Smith, who has been an invaluable partner as this investigation moves forward. I've been in touch with President Trump, with FBI Director Kash Patel. We are completely aligned with our state and federal partners as we work through this case. Now, this is a dark day for our state. It's a tragic day for our nation. And I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination. We are...
I think, yes, you can definitely call it a political assassination, but I think it goes beyond that. This is an assassination on our freedom of speech, our freedom of religion, our freedom to share diverse opinions. This is an assassination of any type of personality that is not what they say is acceptable.
Celebrating 250 years of the founding of this great nation, that founding document, the Declaration of Independence, that this great experiment on which we embarked together 250 years ago, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. The first one of those is life. And today, a life was taken. Charlie Kirk was first and foremost a husband and a dad to two young children. He was also very much politically involved, and that's why he was here on campus. Charlie believed in the power of free speech and debate to shape ideas and to persuade people. Historically, our university campuses in this nation and here in the state of Utah have been the place where truth and ideas are formulated and debated. And that's what he does. He comes on college campuses and he debates. That is foundational to the formation of our country.
Look, sorry to pause this because this is giving a good monologue, but that just goes to show all it takes to get assassinated from the other side is to debate, to have a different opinion. There any other countries that sounds like?
To our most basic constitutional rights. And when someone takes the life of a person because of their ideas or their ideals, then that very constitutional foundation is threatened. Now, we have a person of interest in custody. The investigation is ongoing. But I want to make it crystal clear right now to whoever did this, we will find you. We will try you. And we will hold you accountable to the furthest extent of the law. And I just want to remind people that we still have the death penalty here in the state of Utah.
Thank God. I'll go ahead and get into what I was going to say until the end of the video a little bit. I think we need to bring back, I know the last one was done in like the 70s in France, but we need to bring back public executions. I'm not saying I want him tortured. I don't want nothing like that. But what we do need to do is to make an example out of him. And you could throw the Subway stabber and the track meet stabber. Throw a few of these murderers in the gallows. Do it publicly. Let everybody see what happens when you don't have common courtesy, human dignity, whatever you want to call it. But when you feel so strongly about your feelings and opinions, it's not even, I guess it's beliefs, but I call it more delusion, that you are willing to assassinate somebody just because they have a differ of opinion. Well, the Bible says an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. I'm feeling like going blind myself nowadays. And the projected outcome of that would obviously be that you make an example out of a few of them. And let me be clear, the government has to do this. I don't want any form of people doing this outside of voted in government officials that have tried the people and proven without a shadow of a doubt that it was that person. But the people at that event need closure. And the people that are causing this need exposure.
Our nation is broken. We've had political assassinations recently in Minnesota. We had an attempted assassination on the governor of Pennsylvania. And we had an attempted assassination on a presidential candidate and former president of the United States, and now current president of the United States. Nothing I say can unite us as a country. Nothing I can say right now can fix what is broken. Nothing I can say can bring back Charlie Kirk. Our hearts are broken. We mourn with his wife, his children, his family, his friends. We mourn as a nation. If anyone in the sound of my voice celebrated even a little bit at the news of this shooting, I would beg you to look in the mirror and to see if you can find a better angel in there somewhere. I
think that we need to classify these as acts of terrorism, and I don't just mean what happened today, but also the people that are saying things that would incite violence against our officials or just people in general that are law-abiding citizens. I think that their chats should be looked into, and if it's strong enough, I think they should be classified as terroristic threats.
I don't care what his politics are. I care that he was an American. We desperately need our country. We desperately need leaders in our country. But more than the leaders, we just need every single person in this country to think about where we are and where we want to be. To ask ourselves, is this it? Is this what 250 years has wrought on us? I pray that that's not the case. I pray that those who hated what Charlie Kirk stood for will put down their social media and their pens and pray for his family, and that all of us will try to find a way to stop hating our fellow Americans. With that, we're happy to take a few questions.
The FBI director is posting that a suspect is in custody. I would just like clarification. Do you or do you not have a suspected shooter in custody?
We have a person of interest in custody that is being interviewed right now.
That is not George Zinn.
That is not George Zinn. That is correct.
Are you still searching
or looking for another shooter or anybody else related?
The reason that is such a big deal is because when this first happened, within a few minutes, they had already took a picture of some guy, posted it, and said, "We got a suspect in custody." This officer is clarifying the difference between person of interest and a suspect. Person of interest just means somebody that's sketchy and it could have happened. Suspect is somebody that they have either evidence or strong reason to believe could have done something. Two very different things. It's kind of like comparing two guys in an alley. They're both dressed the same, but one smells a certain way. If the one dressed doesn't smell, but the other one does, you probably know who has the illegal goods.
Yes, we are actively looking for anyone and everyone who has any possible information relating to the shooting.
Can you tell us details about the suspect being taken into custody? Where? How long ago?
We cannot at this point, but we will get you that information when we can.
Is there believed to be a second individual involved in the shooting?
At this point, there is no information that would lead us to believe that there is a second person involved.
Can you guys talk about the possible shooter?
Do you want to talk about what we know there?
Yeah. The only information we have on the suspect, the possible shooter, is taken from closed circuit TV here on campus. We do have that. We're analyzing it, but it is security camera footage, so you can kind of guess what the quality of that is. But we do know dressed in all dark clothing, but we don't have much.
I don't really care about video quality footage. Everybody knows that you can upscale the resolution to make pretty much anything out.
Better description other than that.
Where do you think the shot came from?
The shot came from here on campus, from a location at a third, potentially from a roof. Yes, a longer distance shot from a roof.
So they had access to the schools, like inside of the buildings, or at least that means to get up on the roof.
With the security camera footage you have and the person of interest that's in custody, does that match up?
That's what we're trying to decipher right now.
So did FBI or DHS have anything on the threat board this morning?
I can't speak.
I'll just say that the investigation's ongoing, and as soon as we have further information, we will be sure to release it.
Any indications of foreign intelligence involvement?
As of now, I can't comment on any of that.
Can you talk a little bit about the security of the event itself? Who was there security-wise, and what happens on these kind of events?
Chief Long.
So my name is Jeff Long. I'm the police chief here at UVU, and I'll tell you right now, we're devastated. We're a small police department. We have a very large campus. We have over 40,000 students, and we love our students. We love our visitors, and we're devastated by what happened today. This is the police chief's nightmare. I'm very saddened for the
Nightmare. Even he's playing into the victimship. This is stuff no bounds.
The Kirk family. I know his wife and parents found out about this. Obviously he's away from home. He's here in Utah. They find out by a police officer that visits their home. That's tragic. Nobody wants that. But I can tell you about our venue today. This was an open venue. This was outside. We did have 6 officers working that event. We had.
This is going to be the end of open events after what happened to Trump, now Kirk. They're just not going to be doing open events anymore. It's too hard to secure and safely do them.
probably over 3,000 people that were in attendance. It sat down in kind of a bowl area here on the central campus. We have a waterfall area, and so he was kind of in a lower area, surrounded by buildings. We had some plainclothes police officers that were in the crowd as well. We train for these things, and you think you have things covered, and these things. Unfortunately, they happen. You try to get your bases covered, and unfortunately today we didn't. And because of that, we had this tragic incident. So we did have officers there.
Well, at least there's a little bit of accountability.
We had Charlie Kirk's team. He has a security team that travels with him, and they were here with him when he was shot.
Was the gun recovered?
I'm sorry, see?
Was the weapon recovered?
At this point, I can't disclose that.
Who made the arrest? There was a question being asked about mass shootings. Was that
So that probably means no.
person apprehended? And do you know who asked that question?
Say the question again. I don't know if I understand what you're saying.
When Charlie Kirk was shot, he was answering a question about mass shootings specifically. Was that person apprehended? And do you know who asked that question?
I do not. We do not have that.
Great question. Considering the coincidence of while he was being asked the question about mass shootings, he himself was shot. The person that was asking that question could be a great coincidence, could be a spiteful troll joke. That person should also be talked to.
At this moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have time for just one more question, so thank you.
Yeah, a question for the chief as well. Was it your team or Kirk's team or a combination of both that kind of set the security protocol for the event?
So we work together. He has his team, and they do this all over the country. We all know that. This is not uncommon for them. They're very comfortable on campuses, and I was coordinating with his lead security guy, and we were working together.
Was this a sharpshooter type shot?
Ladies and gentlemen, those are all the questions that will be answered today. Again, thank you for covering this. We will be updating you as soon as we have additional information through normal channels, working with law enforcement. Again, our deepest condolences to the Kirk family and to the students who were there today. I would just.
This is just heartbreaking. Not just as a heartbreaking beyond a personal level. This is life-changing. This is country-changing. The next few days to weeks to months, maybe even years, are going to be full of turmoil. I just feel it. Hopefully not. Hopefully we can catch the people that did this, the people that didn't get caught. We'll see this happen and decide to quit doing this, and we can come to peace. That would be the ideal outcome. I guess we'll move on to what AOC's political rhetoric after Charlie Kirk's shooting. We'll see what she had to say about it, considering that they were on opposing sides, technically. It's hard to say opposing sides because Charlie Kirk, he definitely was for Trump and for leaning towards the right side. But it is hard to call him just a political figure because of how just constantly, biblical he would be about his conversations. And he always led with the Bible, not with government or politics. And that's the main thing that I connect so strongly with him about.
What message do you have to your fellow lawmakers regarding the political environment and the rhetoric that has been put out in the media?
Beyond rhetoric, we need to talk about action, and we need to talk about, yes, there are words, but most importantly, we are in a job of leadership. We are in a job of action. We are in a role and a position where the American people are looking to us to do something about this. And every single day, people are dying due to gun violence in America. And every single day, there are people in this building that continue to vote against doing anything.
Oh my gosh, I called it. I knew they were going to try to twist this into gun violence. It is not gun violence that's the issue, it's people violence. People have been killing people since the dawn of man. Cain and Abel, example A. This is weapons, even before weapons. Well, I guess they used a rock on Cain and Abel. But either way, people have been doing this to people ever since forever. Way before you had like modern day weapons. You cannot say that that is the reason. You can make all these laws against them, but then they're just going to be sold like any other street drug would be. And all you're going to do is arrest the people that would have done it the correct way, which is your least of concerns to begin with.
They vote against universal background checks. They continue to support legislation and also remove any way to block the mentally ill, to block extremists, to block people with histories and records of domestic violence from getting guns in their hands. So are we going to do something about this or not? We have a political assassination that happened at the same time as a school shooting.
What do you want to bet? It's a possibility. This is totally a conspiracy theory that I just thought of. But what if they put the shooter up to this just so they could push an anti-gun law?
Children are dying on the same day, a week after a shooting at a Catholic school where children were gunned down while praying. Are we going to do something, or are we going to argue over rhetoric? That is my question about this. We have to pass gun safety legislation and stop this.
Dude, that is disgusting. She's supposed to be their front runner for the next election. I think I'm going to go ahead and close this video. I'll make more as soon as I get more info. But let's remember Charlie for who he was, not how he ended, which that's also important too. But don't think of him that way. Think of him as the loving, marital Christian man that he was. And just know that he's up in heaven. They're definitely bragging on him and giving him pats on his back for what all he accomplished here. I've never done this on stream. I normally keep it lighthearted. And I definitely don't want to come off as preachy. But I would like us all just like hold a moment of silence, say a prayer, something to show remembrance of what happened. Because you need to remember this day. This is one of the most important days of my lifetime. Definitely in the top 3 of the most country-changing events that's ever happened in my lifetime. With that being said, I'll end this video in a short prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for all the blessings and things that you've given us. We know that when you take something away, it's the act of free will. So it's not really you taking it away. We just tend to blame you because it's harder to cope with our emotions. I apologize for that. What happened today brought a good man home, but it left a wife and 3 children very lonely. Please look after them. Help them in any way that they need fit. And just help this violence stop. The subway incident, the track meet incident, now this. It's becoming out of hand. And I don't want what looks like it's fixing to happen. Please help people wise up and understand the gravity of their actions and treat everyone, enemies alike, with good health and goodwill. We love you. We know that you watch over us, and whatever happens, it's out of our control. In this was saying, thank you for every breath that I take. I love you. I love Jesus. And in your name we pray. Amen.
you.